Hey you guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So I'm out here with my dogs. This crappy dog is out here again, barking as usual, making a bunch of racket for no good reason. Always barking at us every day. Blondie, barking at us, doesn't stop. Owners don't do anything. Just doesn't stop. Oh, it looks like the neighbor over there was able to get him to shut up, but not me. Well, at least somebody can get him to shut up. Blondie over here. Well, that's nice. He shut up. Psst, get it. You don't even know what's under there. What do you want to bet they're eating, like, deer poop? So my goal is working, it looks like. My goal has been to use their dog against them. To wake up early. I was up at 7 o'clock this morning. And, come. Here's my dogs. Come on, this way. So it's working. Got up at 7 o'clock this morning to annoy the annoying guard dog in an effort to make his handlers shut him up. And it worked. It was a neighbor, granted not the owners, but hey, good enough for me. As long as he's quiet. Pretty girl. Pretty girl. So to help me with my expenses, because I know a lot of people think I make like a ton of money. I actually don't. And as I've said before, the dogs really don't make that much money. So, anyway, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to pay the people $1,200 to get rid of this and the rock pile behind it. And then next month, I'll pay for the skirting on the house. Because I've been really overwhelmed with everything that I have to get done. So anyway, so it's just been trying to figure out how to do this right, how to do it well. And the only way that I'm going to do that is if I split it up. That way I just don't want to I don't want to freak myself out even more by draining any savings that I do have. So anyway, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually call those people today and pay for that. I'll just do it one step at a time. So I can't help but think in my mind, like, I guarantee you that neighbor's going to think I'm creepy. I was standing out there with my phone recording. They're probably like, what's wrong with this city slicker? Oh, nothing I can do. No matter what, I'm just a creepo with a phone. So that's what I do. Nothing I can do about it. But what I'm not going to do is, like, I won't call the city on them. I'm not going to be like, can you get rid of that barking dog? I mean, granted, if we lived in the city and it was big enough, like we were in a subdivision big enough that nobody would know it was me, then that'd be one thing. But I'm not trying to start fights with my neighbors. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to listen to that crap. So it's not like I'm judging anyone for actually standing up for themselves and calling the authorities when that kind of stuff happens. It's just that for me, there's only so many people it could be. So, you know what I mean? And I live, you know, they're right there. So I just don't want to. A lot of people ask me, why don't you call on them? Well, because I don't want to create waves. I probably already did, just sitting there recording that. That guy's going to tell that guy and they're going to be like, what's she up to? But I'm sure he'll cool down when nobody comes knocking on his door. So, but that is obnoxious. I mean, that's just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous. So I can't stand people that let their dogs bark like that. Some community stick chewing. Yep. Better look at our mulch. I've noticed that it's really thick in some spots, so I'm probably gonna load some of it, and then take a layer off of it, put it on my truck, and then put it over closer to the house right there. So I'm leaving to go pick up Preacher at the end of the week. And a surprise! That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Oh, I should mention that the breeder that I bought Napoleon from, a really horrible breeder, I'm not going to be getting another dog from him. I've thought long and hard about it. I know a couple people that have bought dogs from him, and I was not impressed with any of the dogs they got from him, and he doesn't have papers on any of his dogs right now. He's claiming that it's because they're imports, and hey, you, Midnight. No. Yeah, so he's claiming that it's because they're imports and he's waiting on the DNA and blah, 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 but it's been going on for way too long now. You know, one of the dogs, he's bred is close to 6 months old now, so it's just like, I don't trust that. So I asked him for my money back. He didn't respond. So there you go to that. Another example of what a great breeder he is. I would stay away from him. He's not on YouTube. I hesitate to say people's names on here because I don't want anybody go and harass them either. That's really not my intention. My intention is just to prevent people from buying from this crappy breeder. So I guess what I'll do is, if you're interested in a dog, if you're looking for a dog, you want to make sure you don't buy from a crappy person. Email me, ask me who it is that you're dealing with. If I know anything about them, and I may not, if I've had a bad experience with them, I will either tell you I wouldn't or I would. And I'll leave it at that. So, because I don't want to just get on here and just be like, screw this person, screw this person. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't want to seem that way. It's too fine of a line to tread because I'm a breeder, we're competitors, things like that. So, but yeah, I'm not going to be getting a replacement from him. So we'll have to look elsewhere. So I'm still waiting on a puppy from one other breeder right now. It's supposed to be a female. I haven't heard anything from that breeder in a while. That's the breeder I was waiting. I paid for a puppy in February, and the breeder didn't think that dog would be good, and every other breeding since then hasn't worked out or something happened. So that breeder's supposed to have a female for me. She's supposed to be born already. And Velocity, give it up now. So Velocity trying not to give something up to Cashmere, which wasn't going to work. She needs to give it up. She's been trying to assert herself, and I know that sounds rough for me to tell her to give in to Cashmere, but as I've told people before, I will not allow a dog to move up in my rank if that movement can't be done without fighting. And Cashmere's not going to give up her position without fighting. So that's why I had to tell Velocity to give in. You know, she just has to. And that's a big reason why monitoring your dogs during play is essential, because it's a little thing like that quiet little thing, you couldn't really tell anything was happening, that could have been a major fight. So anyway, so that other breeder is supposed to have a puppy for me. I need to check in with him today and see what the progress is on that, see if she's had her puppies. You know, get an idea on that. But other than that, that's it. The other two males that I was going to get didn't work out. The breeders either didn't work out, something fell through. And I think there's one other puppy that I put a deposit on, a male from a really top breeder. He said that they've been bred, and so we're waiting to hear back on that. And that was a recent thing. I only recently put a deposit on that puppy, so it's not like I've been waiting forever. But this new puppy that I've put a deposit on from that guy should be our next stud. That's what I'm looking for. Studs are just very hard to find. They really are. They're very hard to find. You know, to have a stud in your program, you don't want just any old male. You don't want just the pick male from someone's litter. You know, you really want to make sure, get out of it. You really want to make sure that the male is a strong genetic carrier for really good traits. Because Cashmere, no, because females, go on, hey, I'm not playing, you guys get out of it now. Midnight, I'll get you, get out of it now. Anyway, females, there's like, because they have so many puppies, there's like a little bit more forgivingness in breeding them. But with males, if you have a crappy male, like and with bad genes, like he's not producing either himself or even anything good, no matter what you put him to, you know, it's just going to be bad. You know, there's very few females that can make up for a bad male. And this is just my opinion. It's just my experience. So I'm very careful with them. Very careful. I mean, females are equally as important. Don't get me wrong. You really do need solid, equal females. But in my experience, an okie dokie female will create, you know, better pups if crossed to a very nice male with good genes. Whereas a really nice female will not produce good pups with a mediocre basic male. That's just been my experience. Maybe other people have had a different experience, but that's been mine. So I really do try to find very high quality males. And Preacher is a very high quality male, and you can see it in him because all of his puppies look like him. And what's funny though is that Preacher actually isn't a good or isn't a 100% representation of his lines. They actually look a lot different than him. But his particular form, structure, look, all of that is strong. So within his lines, they always throw dogs that look like him. literally have the same markings, like just like what you saw with mine, where like with Midnight, where she has that double tap, the black body with the white dot on the chest, the white on the neck. That's that gene coming through. I'd like to think that it's a very specific dog in the line that's doing that, but that line right there, that gene that keeps popping up is what I am trying to exploit. So I was because Preacher doesn't look like all of the dogs in his lines, I was very particular about whenever I chose him. I looked at all the pictures. I looked at all his parents had been bred multiple times before. I looked at all his siblings. I looked at how they aged, and I wanted to make sure that I picked the right puppy, that I picked the puppy that had that gene expression. And that's what Preacher has. And when Preacher's bred, then he pushes that gene expression, and it's strong, you know, for it to keep showing up after so many generations, where his original breeders, even the people that developed his line, don't even look for dogs like Preacher. They prefer a much shorter muzzle, a much wider eye set than I do. And so for Preacher's genes to still be popping up like that, for that look to still be popping up, means that it's very strong. And that's why it's, when you see Preacher's puppies, you can almost, like literally, you can almost look at them and know that they're his, because it's that gene expression coming through so strongly like that. Come on back. Who are we missing? Somebody went off into the woods and I haven't seen them again. Cashmere, Velocity. There's Cashmere. She's the one. She was over here. And Velocity. All right, good. Anyway, enough for my Monday morning ramble. I hope I didn't leave anything out. If you got some questions, let me know. But that's what I'm up to. That's what I'm doing. Oh, great. Looks like that dog forgot that he was told to be quiet. Right on time. Well, I'll talk to y'all later. You have a good day. Bye.